This video is sponsored by skinsilo.com, who recently launched an Android application that allows for all of the site's functionality to be used on an Android phone. Skinsilo has users complete surveys and install apps to earn points, which then can be exchanged for CSGO skins. And with a wide variety of skins in their inventory ranging from UMP45 briefings to Dragon Lore ops, this app promises skins to anyone with no monetary transactions, gambling, or skin deposits required. When on the Skinsilo site or app, use the referral code PAIDSPRAYS for an extra 250 points. All the links are down in the description below. This month saw an infamous user problem CSGO and Steam have seen for close to a year, essentially solving the scam CSGO group problem by limiting invites to people who you are friends with. And more was changed. However, in relation to CSGO, this is what was important. Following that post, one of a few updates of the month launched. First on August 1st, then 2nd. The former engraved the major statues and added graffiti to Inferno. The latter was a surprise, being a beta branch aiming to start pistol balancing, starting with the Tech 9, slightly improving single shot accuracy and significant moving accuracy reduction, and an ammo reduction. Sloth Squadron did a write-up of the changes, and a fun fact was that the Tech 9 standing accuracy was actually better than the AK. The CSGO Twitter was on top of things during the beta, with tweets explaining on how to install the beta branch. And on the 7th, these changes were pushed into retail, with very little changed from the original beta. The Tech 9 changes were identical to those pushed prior, which had raised the question on why the beta was even used. Within this update, however, was the addition of 2 DLC packages caught by SteamDB, the purpose of which is not known. A second beta branch update was pushed on the 15th, publicly talking about the 5/7 changes to reward tactical positioning and defensive play. This translated to slightly improved rapid-fire accuracy and reduced moving accuracy. Sloth once again wrote up the details and caught that recovery time was being implemented for the 5/7, requiring players to learn how to properly tap with this pistol. This also pushed 2 major things we would not see the full magnitude of until it was pushed into the live game on the 17th, so that SteamDB's GitHub would be able to pick up the changes. And this update was one of the Counter-Strike team's what I like to call tester updates, where a major change or feature has code for outlets like Valve News Network to report on and the community to discuss. First, the Perfect World client, being the build played in China, was updated to allow Prime status to anyone who registers their identity. Similar to how Perfect World handles anti-cheat, it is all connected to China's national ID card system, and players who allow their personal information to be collected by the game are granted Prime. What isn't discussed in the public changelog is the addition of an item called a game license. Essentially, Counter-Strike Global Offensive is free to play to anyone who registers this ID, and more is granted than Prime matchmaking in China alone. Now, for those who don't register their ID, a game license is available for purchase for around $13 US. However, no documentation on whether this allows for Prime matchmaking to be used as well has not been found. The largest dump of information comes from the change overhauled internal weapon data representation. All weapon data is now part of the item schema, instead of each weapon holding its own script file. So each weapon was ported over this month, and with it shows exactly what the CS team is still actively working on, because unused weapons that have appeared in the code since the game's launch, such as the MP5 Navy and more lately the TAC-21, were not ported over to the item schema. However, references to the health shot, the assault and heavy assault suit, night vision goggles, and breach charges are all implemented in the new item schema move. And lastly, grenade smoke color. Now, it is true that smokes have had some kind of color variable before. However, with this schema move, the new variation of the variable is showing up in many different places. It allows for the smoke color to be adjusted through an RGB value. Speculation. Discussion on how the CS team could implement cosmetic smoke changes is required by the community. The major issue I see is that this change would be incredibly easy for the team to implement, and the work is almost non-existent. They would just have to change the RGB value 13 times and package it all up in a case. I will reiterate that holding cosmetic items knife hostage, as done with the gloves, does not show the best of intentions towards the player base. And this topic, whether or not the team truly is testing the idea, needs to be discussed publicly for the team to read. So to sum it up, monetized colored smoke grenades are totally possible. Also, Counter-Strike Global Offensive's 5th birthday passed on the 21st, and as expected, party mode has been activated, also in an update that had some basic bug fixes. And thank you very much for watching. I'm Tyler McVicker, this is Valve News Network. Have a good day. Adios.